Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Well, today you join me down at the storage yard and I'm measuring the total length of my outfit, caravan and car, when it's hitched up. And there's a reason for this, and it's quite simple. We're going to Spain in a few months' time, and the rules and regulations regarding towing a caravan in Spain are slightly different to the rest of Europe. As in, if your outfit is over 12 metres long, you have to have a rear reflective plate stuck to the back of the caravan to indicate that it's over 12 metres. And if you don't, and the police do stop you and they measure it and fine you over, they'll fine you a fine. So I'm going to be doing that now. And you're probably saying to me, well, why have you brought a tape measure with you? Why don't you just add that to that and it'll give you the figure? And the answer is yes, it will. However, what you've got to understand is when a policeman stops you and he puts his tape down, he could put it either right at the back or he could move it in slightly. Either way, he's not going to be as accurate as what your overall measurements are. So the best thing to do to be on the safe side is do what a police officer would do, get a tape and measure it out. And that's what I'm doing. Now I know that this is 11.8 metres long in total, which puts me under the limit. However, like I say, it depends where they put their tape measure. So I'm going to be on the safe side and call this 12 metres, and I'm going to get myself a reflective strip because I'd rather not get a fine. Now, as I said a minute ago, in Europe there are different rules and regulations, and I was asked on YouTube through my community page to have a little chat about it. So that's what we're going to do today. So the first thing I'm going to talk about today is documents for Europe. What documents do you need with your car and caravan when you're travelling to Europe? So we'll go inside the caravan and I'll explain them some more. So I've been away to Europe a few times now, getting pretty adept at what I like to do when I'm organising my documents. And the first thing I do is buy myself one of these cheap plastic clear A4 folder. Store all your documents in, nice and neat in one place. So what documents are these that you're going to fill this folder with? Well, let's start with the vehicle first, the tow car. First of all, you're going to need proof of ownership of the vehicle. So you're going to need your V5 or logbook. The next thing you're going to need is a valid certificate of insurance, and preferably with European cover on. I would highly recommend that. Also, you're going to need, if your car is over 3 years, you're going to need an up-to-date or valid MOT certificate to prove your vehicle is roadworthy. Obviously you're going to need your driving licence as well. Now, moving to the caravan, it's not much different really. You're going to need, first of all, proof that you own the caravan, and the best way you can prove that, if you've already registered, is with Chris, because if you register with Chris you get a certificate to say that the caravan belongs to you and it has a chassis number on to prove it. You're also going to need some form of certificate or document to prove that the caravan is roadworthy, and the best thing is your service report, so take that with you as well. And finally, you're obviously going to need your cover for your insurance. Now what we've done this time, and we've done in previous trips, we've gone with red pennant, and it covers the caravan, the car, and also us as holiday insurance as well, and we lump all that together. Now that's not meaning that you don't need insurance to tow the car, as in the vehicle insurance. You still need that. This is just like a holiday insurance and a package that helps, should if the caravan breaks down or the car breaks down, you can get it fixed and they will assist you with it. And it's a really good product, and it's probably one of the best products that the Caravan and Motorhome Club make. I've done a video on it and I'll leave the link up there. So that is some of the basic documents that you're going to require when you're away in Europe. Now, further documents you'll need is, if you're going to take a pet, i.e. a dog or a cat, it's up to you what you're going to take, you're going to need some form of pet passport for your pet. Now, the best thing I can do with that, because I'm not a pet owner, is advise you regarding a link that I'm going to show you to one of Andrew Ditton's videos on pet passports. So that will tie that in nicely for you and help you out with your pets. So in addition to the documents that I've just explained, you're also going to need this, which is proof of where you're going, because they probably, if the police stop you, they probably want to know where you are going. And the best thing to do is have all the documents that you've got for your sites and also your ferry tickets as well. So I put them all together in one little package and staple them together, and that helps me navigate round all the things that I need to do, i.e. sort out the ferry when we arrive to check in, also check in at the site and on the return journeys as well. Now when we go to Spain, we're staying at 2 sites, so I have 2 sites documents in here, and obviously the outward and return journey ferry tickets. Now, one document that's not on the official list, but it's something that me and Juliet have done for a couple of years now, is if we take Alfie away with us, our grandson, we like to get a letter from our daughter to say that she's give us permission to take him out of the country for a period of time. Now, they won't probably ask for it, but it's nice to have it just in case something odd or strange happens and they ask if you've brought the child with the permission of the parent. So I throw that in as a little extra. Now, as we're no longer in the European Union, we have to now have a UK sticker. They don't want the GB stickers. For some reason they don't like them. They prefer United Kingdom, UK stickers. You need one on the car, and you also need one on the rear of the caravan as well. Don't put it too low down. I would suggest put it about 2 feet up from the base of your rear of the caravan so it can be seen quite clearly. Now, as in a previous video, I did mention on our Holland trip video, which I'll leave a link to in the description below, the Dutch authorities require you to have a fixed eyelet for your breakaway cable. Now, somebody asked me in that video, how do I know about this? Well, what I did was I did a lot of research in relation to the Dutch law, and also I picked it up on a few other caravan forums as well. They also mentioned it. Now, if you have got an eyelet like me, then that you're fine. But if you haven't, I would seek some form of alternative way of firmly attaching this to your tow bar rather than just loop round. They don't like that. So what can you take with you in terms of food? Well, it is quite limited really. You can take some canned goods, that's not a problem. But fresh meat and dairy products seem to be a big no-no. Now, if you want to know which country you're going to and what they will permit, the best place to go is to the government website. I'll leave a link up here to check out on there exactly what you can and cannot bring in. Also, with regards to the caravan as well, you need to make this caravan accessible to customs, because they'll be checking to see whether you're taking anybody out of the country or bringing anyone in. So they need to get access inside the caravan. So don't make it too difficult with them, but still pack safely and sensibly. So the next thing I want to talk about is speed cameras. Now in Europe, they have just as many speed cameras, if not probably more, than we do. And they do take a dim view on speeding, and it's an on-the-spot fine, i.e. pay up straight away. Now, to avoid this, obviously we're going to use our dash cams and we're going to use our sat-navs to help us navigate around them. And we're not going to break the law, are we, ladies and gentlemen? Now, with that in mind, in France, they do not like you having any type of device, whether it be a dash cam or a sat-nav, that informs you where speed traps are likely to be. And if that's activated on your actual vehicle and you get stopped and they check it, you can also be fined as well. Now in Spain, it's slightly different. They're not opposed to such devices. What they are opposed to is radar jammers, and they take a very dim view on that, and it's quite a severe on-the-spot fine. Holland is a little bit more laid back. I've not heard of anything in terms of laws regarding that, but I would recommend that you just be careful and drive safely. Okay, so another important thing that you need to remember when you're getting the ferry with the caravan and the car is to isolate the gas bottle. Sometimes they will do spot checks and make sure you've done it. Just remove the pigtail from the gas bottle and make sure it's switched off and isolated. Now, one top tip I can give you is this, is once you've parked up on the ferry and you're getting ready to get out and mooch around, is remove the electrical hook cable from the car. Make sure that that is actually off it, because otherwise it may drain the car's battery and you don't want to be towed off the ferry. And I also recommend that you put the handbrake on the caravan as well, just gives it that extra security. So we just mentioned security of the caravan there. I'm going to touch on security as my final thing, and that is this. What I would recommend is don't leave all your cash and your cards in the same place and in the car or the caravan. Spread it around a little bit, because if it gets broken into, they might only find one lot, they won't go rooting for the rest, and it won't ruin your holiday. Also, make sure your passports are safe and secure as well. Now, the last thing I will say is, and I would recommend it, is just before you get to the port, fill up the car with fuel so you've got a full tank for the journey ahead once you get off the ferry. That way you're not looking for a fuel station en route to your holiday destination. Well, thank you very much for watching. I do hope you'll join us again real soon, but in the meantime, bye for now.